Memphis. I'm Gale Jones Carson, the Vice President of Community and External Affairs. The aim of Power Up Memphis is to take you, our customers, on an inside tour of MLGW and to share our programs and operations with you. And by doing so, we can all better understand how we function as your utility provider. Today on our show, we're going to have Derrick Dones, who is the Supervisor of Residential Services, and he's going to be talking about our Share the Pennies program, as well as providing some energy conservation tips. And then we're going to have Tamara Pate, who is the coordinator of MLGW Supplier Diversity program, and some small business owners on the show, Adrena and Wendell Jackson, who will be talking about how they have worked with our Supplier Diversity program. So thank you very much for being with us today, and here's our show. Our guest today is Derrick Dones, who is the Supervisor of Residential Services for Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. Today, Derrick's going to update us on our Share the Pennies program and also provide us with energy saving tips as some of our residents continue to struggle with managing their energy consumption during these unprecedented pandemic times. Welcome, Derrick. It's been a while since I've seen you. Thank you so much for coming on our show so you can provide some information to our customers. Let's start talking about Share the Pennies. Could you first just, tell us about Share the Pennies, when it got started, what it is, and how it's beneficial to our customers?
Okay, great. Glad to be a part of the program today. And yes, I'm glad that you mentioned Share the Pennies. It's a program that we're very proud of. And we've been working with this program for the last few years. We've so far have addressed and helped serve over 500 customers. And some of the things that we've done through this program that we've had a great opportunity to work with contractors within the community, local contractors. The repairs that we've been able to do, HVAC, repair and replacement, duct replacement, air sealing, wall and floor penetrations, broken window, door repairs, and or replacing both the door or window. And we're talking about exterior doors. And we're going back with double pane windows, adding insulation, attic stairs, attic door replacements, water and gas leaks. We've done that. Water heater repair and or replacement. And we've also added a safety feature where we install CO monitors and smoke detectors within the home. So these are some of the things that we've been able to do within the home with the assistance of our contractors that are involved within this program. Also, I want to add in, just so customers will understand how you're eligible for the program. Okay. You must be 18 years or older. Income must not exceed the 200% poverty federal guideline. You must own and live in the house, so you have to own it and live there. You must be current on your previous city and county taxes. You must have an active utility account in your name, so it can't be in the name of someone else. It has to be in your name if you own the house. And the basic way to apply right now, we're currently not accepting our applications. We just had our application intake for this particular phase of the program back in January. So the best way customers can stay on notice when we do have an application intake process is to go to MIFA.org/share the pennies. That way, when they log it, when they go to that website, they can put in their email address. And it's a question that is going to ask something as simple as 2 + 2. You answer that and you just hit submit. What's going to happen, it logs your email address. So that way, whenever we have an application intake process, that customer is going to be notified. Then that way,
really? So they don't have to keep checking back.
No, once that email address is put there, if it's a good email address, you will receive a notification by email. So that way, you know when the process will begin and when you can apply.
Wow, that's amazing. That's very good. So we're not taking applications right now, right?
No, we're not right now. No, ma'am.
So do you know when we will take applications again?
Right now, because we're in the middle of getting ready to start phase 3 and this application process is just really fresh and we're getting it closed out, we're processing those applications. So I would just say when customers submit their information, just be on the lookout because the information is going to be put out per advertising. It's going to be, notifications that'll come from MIFA. They'll be posting things, but the easiest way, again, is just making sure that they have the correct email address. If something happens and they have to shut that account down, simple, just go back to that website, put your new email address in. That way.
Is there a certain position they're in? Are they a certain number they're in? So do they lose their space in line if they're in line?
No, because remember, this is just something you're going to receive an alert. Okay. Once we start taking applications, you'll get notified. And this has been helpful as well, especially for a lot of our customers that are seniors, because if they have family members that want to make sure that their mother, grandmother, someone that they know that's elderly gets notification, well, they can put their email address in. When they see the notification, they can let them know, hey, here's the information that you need to call. Here's what you'll need to do on this particular day at this time. So they'll know what they need to do to proceed forward and getting their application submitted.
Okay, so you mentioned.
Go ahead, Ms. Gale, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, what were you about to say? I'm sorry.
That pretty much sums up Share the Pennies. And I also wanted to kind of just mention, I know most have probably saw the press release about the TDEC program, where we've received $750,000 in grant. And we've also grateful to have a partnership with TVA where they're contributing another $75,000 for health and safety measures.
Which, so will that take that over? That'll be over $800,000 that will be available with the 75.
Well, yes. Now we have applications that have already been taken for that. So we're getting ready to start serving those particular customers. So we're going to conduct the audits and we're going to get moving on that. So again, we're grateful for the partnership with TVA because the $75,000 for health and safety, we've seen the benefits of that with adding the CO monitors, smoke detectors within the home. That's a plus.
Okay, so you're saying you're going to conduct audits. What exactly what do you mean by that?
When we go out and conduct audits, Gail, what we're looking for, we're going out to assess the home, to look at the needs. When we talk about weatherization programs, so we're going in, as many of the items that I noted in the Share the Pennies program, we're doing everything similar as it relates to HVAC replacement, attic insulation. The only difference with this program we're going to be doing differently is the addition of being able to add an Energy Star refrigerator.
Okay, so for a typical residential home, what are the highest energy consumption items in a home?
All right, and I'm glad you asked that question. When we're talking about major appliances, when you're looking at your heating takes up about 40%. When you're looking at your utility bill, 40% is made up by what you're utilizing to heat your home. 20% comes from air conditioning, what you're utilizing to cool your home. And then when you talk about water heating, that's about 16%. Now, most customers tend to think that lighting is the big deal, but when you look at those three, or as we refer to as the big three, water heating, heating your home, cooling your home, those are the big ticket items that you want to make sure that you control. And I'll get a little bit into that as I start talking about some of the tips.
Name those again.
Heating, air conditioning, and water heating.
And yes, the water heating is like when people set their water temperature really, really high, right?
You don't need to do that because the higher you set it, the longer that unit is going to run. And be it gas or electric, the longer it's running, that meter is turning. And if the meter is turning, that's money that's being spent.
But say, for example, if you don't have it high enough, you may only be able to generate enough water for one tub of water to be hot. Then you have to wait a long time for the next batch of water to be hot.
Well, here's the thing. The recommended setting for water heating is about 120 degrees. That's what we recommend. Now, when you're looking at the various types of water heaters, be it a gas or electric, you want to make sure that you're mindful of the thermostat dial on that particular type of water heater, because especially in some of the neighborhoods that have the older units, because, some stuff that they have out there was built years ago, but it was built to last back then and it's still kicking and running. But on a lot of the dials, you want to make sure that you're mindful of the settings, because some will have the temperature numbers listed. Some will have ABC. Some will have low, medium, high. You just want to make sure you pay attention to that and look at that carefully, because typically on the ones that don't have the temperature numbers listed, It's going to have a big notch on there. What I mean by big notch or pointer, if you look at it carefully, you'll see it. That's usually the default point so that you can make sure it's set at that 120 setting, around that 120 mark. Now, since we're talking about water heaters, one thing that you can do also that's very helpful when you are going out of town for 3 or more days, you can set that water heater to a vacation setting or low. What that does is prevent that unit from running more than what's required, especially if no one is home.
Okay.
So I can go into a few helpful tips on some things that customers can do to help themselves, especially as we're getting ready to go into these summer months. And I think that would be a great benefit to our customers.
So yeah, let's go on and let's do that because we only have a few minutes left, and I want to make sure our customer hears some of these energy efficiency and energy conservation measures that they can take to help them control their consumption, which ultimately reduces their energy bill.
Well, let me do this also before I jump right into that, just so customers will have an opportunity to reach out to us so that we can go in depth with them. They can, again, my name is Derrick Dones, the Supervisor for Residential Energy Services, but feel free to call our department at 901-528-4188, and you can get all of the information you need. Just to be real brief and quick to the point, to point out a few things that will be helpful right off the bat. Your house, I'll explain it like this, is like a big basketball. Okay. You can have air hole, little pinholes in that ball and pump air in it. But until you seal those, patch up those holes, you're gonna have air leaking out. Your house is the same way. When you take a step back at the exterior doors that lead outside and you look at those doors, if you see daylight around the edges, you wanna add weather stripping or a door sweep at the base of the door.
And those items are not expensive, right?
No, they're very inexpensive, low cost that you can purchase at any of the hardware stores. On windows, it's just as simple as going around each window, especially if you have the older windows where there's single pane and you tap the window. If that pane rattles, you just want to simply reglaze or add some caulking. That tightens up those areas. Now, the next biggest thing I want to jump into is making sure that you manage the thermostat, because now that you've tightened your house, managing that thermostat is going to be important. And we recommend a temperature setting of 78 degrees for the summer months. If you tighten up the house, that's going to help you retain the heat and air in the house during the season that we may be in. And of course, we're getting ready to go into the summer months. And in the middle of a pandemic, everybody's looking for ways to save. And that's going to be important. So again, for any further details, any questions that customers may have, they definitely can reach out to our department at 901-528-4188. And we would love to schedule an energy audit, come out to help them look at what ways in more detail, point out things that they can do to help lower their bill and conserve energy.
Now, Derrick, I appreciate that information, but before we wrap up, I do want to point out one thing. We suggest the thermostat temperature, the temperature on the thermostat be 78 when it's hot. For every degree below 78, how much does that increase the customer's bill?
That's an additional 6% on your utility bill. So for every degree below that, you're increasing your bill by 6%. So that's why we always stress tightening up the house, the thermal envelope, the shell of the house first. Attic insulation is important. Make sure you got enough attic insulation in your attic. That's just adding an additional layer between the unconditioned space and the attic space. That's unconditioned.
And I'm gonna tell you, Derrick, that makes a world of difference on your bill when you get that attic insulation. I got it years ago, and I saw an immediate return on my energy consumption, and my bill just went down and it stayed down. So I want to thank you, Derrick, for the information you provided today on our Share the Pennies program, and also providing tips on energy conservation and energy efficiency. Thank you so very much for being with us today.
No problem, Gale. And again, customers can definitely reach out to us at 901-528-4188, and we'd be glad to serve in any way we can.
Welcome back to Power Up Memphis. Our guests this segment include Tamara Pate, who's the coordinator of Supplier Diversity for Memphis Light, Gas, and Water, and Adrena and Wendell Jackson, who are owners of Exactly. And this couple have worked with Memphis Light, Gas, and Water Supplier Diversity Program for a while now, and they are going to share with us how our program has helped them pre-pandemic and what's the possible challenges that they have ahead. Now, Tamara is going to share with us how Memphis Light, Gas, and Water's diversity program works, and also the challenges for some small minority-owned businesses during COVID. So, Tamara, we'll start with you. So, tell us about Memphis Light, Gas, and Water's diversity program and how folks can get involved with it, what we're doing to increase our spend and the appropriate communities in Memphis and Shelby County.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Ms. Carson, for having me on today. The Supplier Diversity Program here at MLGW is very intentional in providing practicable as well as equitable opportunities for minority-owned, women-owned, and locally small businesses here in Memphis, as well as the statistical area of MLGW. We are very excited about the opportunities available through our procurement and contracts department here at MLGW, as well as you could be a vendor, you could be a supplier to MLGW, and we even have a portal available at mlgw.com/bids, and you can actually register your company to do business with MLGW, including the profile of your company, as well as the services and products you provide. We also have the Sheltered Market program, which is specifically designed for our local small businesses as well.
Now, so could you explain the Sheltered Market before you move on?
Yes, ma'am. The Shelter Market program is where we have a bid that is generally it's between 50 to 100,000, and the opportunity is for 3 local companies. There is a bidding process for at least minimum 3 companies that are certified local businesses to participate in various procurement opportunities that are applicable to the Shelter Market program. We also encourage a lot of our businesses to ensure that they are certified through various agencies that certify minority, women, and local small businesses. There are stipulations to ensure that you are a certified business as well. So that information is also available at mlgw.com. You must be 51% owner of as a minority if you're going to be a minority-owned business. If you are a certified woman business, you must have 51% ownership as well as operation and control as a woman. And if you, again, are a local small business, you must have 51% ownership locally here as a Memphis resident, as well as your actual office must be in the Memphis area. So we have stipulations. Yes, ma'am.
So they have to have a home here as well, the locally owned business, they have to reside here as well as having an office here?
Yes, ma'am. You must be a resident here as well as your business within the area. We also ensure that you must be a U.S. citizen as well to be classified as a minority-owned or a woman-owned business as well.
So Memphis Light, Gas, and Water's diversity program focuses on minorities, it focuses on women, and it also focuses on local businesses.
Yes, ma'am, local small businesses.
Okay, so of all of the business that Memphis Light, Gas, and Water does, do you have a percentage of all of those that you spell out that we focus on with our diversity program? What percentage of those businesses do business with Light, Gas, and Water?
Well, currently, if you were to look at our quarterly reports, we do submit a quarterly report to the Board of Commissioners, and a part of that report includes the spend per classification. We're roughly between 28 to 30% of our total procurement spend here at MLGW is with minority, women, and locally owned business.
Well, I know that Memphis Light, Gas, and Water has won many awards for its leadership in that area. Do you get a lot of companies that want to benchmark with us because we do exceptionally well in that particular area?
Yes, ma'am. I'm still a baby here. I've been here since June of 2020, but within the few months I've been here, we're roughly headed into a year, but even while in COVID, we've had roughly 15 to 20 meetings just with companies that are interested in becoming a vendor with MLGW. We do hold those meetings. That opportunity is available to anyone that would like to partner with MLGW or do business. We do encourage them to schedule a vendor meeting, an opportunity meeting with us, where we review your capability statement, as well as we forward your information to the user areas that can utilize your services or products.
Okay, so they're not guaranteed the business. They still have to also bid on the business, right?
Yes, ma'am. We do have a bidding process for procurement and contracts. That opportunity is available to anyone. We also host bidders orientations between the user areas that are requesting contracts, as well as when we assign a goal to an actual contract, we allow any potential bidders the opportunity to ask questions. We review the documentation with them, ensure that they have the information that they need as well.
Okay, so let's move to Adrena and Wendell, who have been working with the program for a while. Could you talk to us and tell our viewers, how you have worked with Memphis Light, Gas, and Water, what's it been like, and how are things going with you all during the pandemic?
Well, we have been MLGW customers all our life, right? So even prior to launching Exactly Breakfast in Deli, we had a barber and beauty salon at this very location. So we've always been partners with MLGW. For this particular program, we see the benefits because we get to work with other companies who are also working within this program and get to know the various restaurants and local small businesses within the area. We are a restaurant, a breakfast and deli, so we do even catering within Memphis MLGW, which is part of that process. Since the pandemic, MLGW has been great, right? we never lost power. We had a little drain issue out front. They came right out and took care of that. But business did slow down tremendously because people were scared. We didn't really know what we were coming into, and the pandemic really caught everybody off guard. So for a while, we did decrease staff and we decreased our operating hours, such as everyone else. But since around the end of last summer, we've seen an uptick in our customer base, and we're getting back to a sense of normalcy. We opened up our side dining. We're back to full capacity. We are still requiring masks to sit and enter just as a precaution. And we want to make sure that not only are our customers safe, but our staff is always safe, at least until we reach herd immunity within the Memphis community.
Well, we appreciate your care for your customers, our customers, and our community. Tell me, what were some of the things that you did differently during the pandemic to pivot?
We went to online. So when we first opened, we were just, come in, dine with us. You could get to go, but we included online. So we have an online application now. We do more to-go orders. We did curbside. We socially distanced and we took away tables. We did more catering events during that time, and just whatever we needed to do to make sure that we were safe. Of course, our sanitizing practices have tremendously increased, and they will stay in place. Some things I think we just need to keep forever, just because we were always very mindful of cleaning and sanitizing, but this just made us step it up a notch. So we're very mindful of that.
So Tamara, tell me, how did you all work with Adrena and Wendell and other small businesses and women during the pandemic? How did you help them pivot?
Well, one thing we're doing is ensuring that they all know that there are resources that they can utilize during this time. City of Memphis has been very valuable, as well as EDGE, the Economic Development Growth Engine. They've had resources and grants and opportunities for small businesses to make sure they stay afloat and have funds to help them during this patch, the COVID that we're in. The Minority Business Development Agency is also a part of MMBC. They have resources and access to capital management and additional funding and resources available to small companies such as Exactly and other companies in the area.
And I would also add to that they send you the information. So EDGE is very good in conjunction with MLGW and the Minority Business Association for sending you that information and for recommending you to those areas that you may need assistance in to make sure that you are able to see sustainable growth.
Okay, so Tamara, do we have any at all with the PPP guidelines or assistance at all with the funding that might have been available, federal funding that might have been available for women, minorities, and small businesses? Did we do any of that?
We actually have a couple of local firms that we as MLGW have supported and purchased from, along with other governmental agencies. There are a couple of companies locally. Action Chemical has been one company that provided a lot of PPE to the area, to different companies in the area. So we have firms that we're actually still supporting because we're purchasing the PPE from them. So we are keeping the dollars in our city. We are making sure that we are intentional in helping the companies through our support, our financial support and assistance as well.
Oh, that's awesome. So we have to wrap up, but before we go, Adrena and Wendell, please provide some closing tips for other small businesses and women and local businesses that you might find useful for them.
Well, I would say to keep the faith. I have a sign on my chalkboard that said, "This happened because of faith, family, favor, and friends." You have to go into this business with a passion. Well, with any business, I wouldn't recommend nobody going into business unless they have a passion for it, because you're going to climb some obstacles, go over some hurdles. But the main thing is have a great attitude, get with people that can help you open your business, such as the economic edge. And just stay on it.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Never give up. Yeah, you never give up.
Never give up.
Business will always be here. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, Tamara, we need for you to give some tips or closing remarks to the women, small businesses, and local businesses here in Memphis and Shelby County from Memphis Light, Gas, and Water.
Yes, ma'am, we'll do. We are definitely here to encourage our businesses to make sure that they are, as she said earlier, sustaining their growth. There are many resources. Please visit mlgw.com/bids to ensure that you are being notified of any opportunity that could be applicable to your company, to your organization. Remember that there are resources for you and advocate agencies that want to help you and see you grow as well, including MMBC. The City of Memphis, Shelby County has an office as well that helps small businesses. So there are many resources, and you can always reach out here at MLGW and ask for the Supplier Diversity Department.
Okay, so I want to thank Adrena and Wendell Jackson, owners of Exactly, for coming on our show today. And I want to thank Tamara Pate, who's the coordinator of our Supplier Diversity Program in Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. I also want to thank this young lady because she's only been here since sometime last 2020, and she has stepped up. She's been creative. She's been taking things to the next level for our small businesses, for our women, and for our local businesses. And Tamara, I want you to know I watch your work, and you've been doing an excellent job.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. I might be tough a little bit, Tamara, but I give people their credit, and you deserve credit. So,
thank you.
I want to thank our guests today for watching Memphis, Power Up Memphis, and come back next month as we provide you with more information for our customers.